What's the origin? Where does coffee actually come from, originate from?
Tea was not really allowed before the British took over India. People don't know that.
I thought he was going to tell me about something off like the dark web. Take this and give it.
We did a lot of research and looked at what coffee was drunk in the bar of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and that was cool. And bringing that back.
Whoa. Coffee was actually drank in Maharaja Ranjit Singh's bar, yeah?
Yeah. He drank. There was loads of stuff that was drank in that.
See, now I'm obviously the uneducated in this situation. I didn't know. I thought when you think of India, you just think the origins of tea. That's all you think about. I didn't even think you could probably get coffee back in the day. Now you can get everything. But so coffee was around at the same time as tea. Is that what you're saying?
It's hard to tell because there's no official records of this. This is like people are just, there's myths and whatnot and legend. But I like to listen to it because I'm like, it makes sense to me. Tea was not really allowed before the British took over India. People don't know that. British propagated it. Before that, it was like a herbal drink. I forgot the name of it, but I think the Sengs call it garam jal, which means hot water, and it would keep you warm. And essentially, they took the active components out and replaced them with tea, and that's what we have now. So the spicy flavors and whatnot, that was like something else before, and then it was replaced with tea. But coffee was used for meditative practices. The guards would take it and whatnot because it would help keep them awake. And it was imported from, I think it was from Arabia. It's been in India since the Mughal Darbar. Mm-hmm. So people were drinking it in the south a lot more than the north because milk was a thing in the north. Down south, it was all about like watery drinks. But it did hit the Darbar from what I heard, and it was essentially like what we have now, which is Indian tea. But instead of using chapatti, which is tea leaves, they used ground coffee.
Oh, wow.
And it was the same thing.
What's the origin? Where does coffee actually come from, originate from?
Again, there's no definitive record. The myth is, or the legend, should I say, the legend is there was a goat herder and he watched his goats eating this particular fruit and they would do backflips and you know what I mean? They would just...
So he's thinking, hang on a second, what have they eaten?
He's just thinking, I want some of that. Yeah. So he started chewing them.
And where was this goat herder from?
Again,
oh no, okay.
They say like Yemen and those kind of areas, North Africa.
Yeah.
But again, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the story goes, he chewed the berries, and then throughout time, people just take an ingredient and mess around with it, and someone took the seeds, like cooked them, and then ground them and started brewing them, and here we are. It's
wow.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how, but that's the story. That's the legend.
I mean, I used to think like coffee, people used to make this up when they say it's a great pre-workout. That makes a lot of sense. It gives you energy because there was a guy I used to train, and you know when you got the old school beefed up, you know, like a house on legs, and I went up to him one time and he was benching something. I thought I'd give him a hand, and then I helped him out. I spotted him, and then I was a bit like, you know, are we friends now? Like, give me some advice. And I said, what shall I have for like a pre-workout? And I thought he was going to tell me about something off like the dark web. You know, take this and you'll give it. And he said, black coffee, no sugar. That's all you need to drink. I was really good. It's just a shot. I was like, are you serious? And I just thought he was just fobbing me off. But apparently that's a thing as well. It is a good pre-workout.
Well, you said it gives you energy. It doesn't give you energy, just so everyone...
Okay.
All it does is block adenosine receptors and stops you feeling tired. So if you was to ever stop drinking coffee, you'll have a bad 3 or 4 days where your adenosine receptors are just going to be overloaded because to compensate, your body has to release more of it. So all you're doing with coffee is blocking the tired signal getting to your brain to make you feel tired. So you feel like it's giving you energy, but really it's just stopping you from feeling tired. So it does feel good in the gym because it stops the fatigue, or it slows down the fatigue essentially, but it doesn't give you energy. There is a little myth to it being a good workout because it increases your adrenaline response. So it does give you a bit of a charge. Caffeine does that.
Yeah.
We do a coffee called Panthera, which is designed to do that. I say designed. It was bred for high caffeine content, and it's 100% Robusta. But everyone's heard Arabica. It's like a buzzword, right?
Yeah.
Robusta now, good Robusta is basically the same sort of price as Arabica. Just doesn't taste as good. It's more earthy, more like grassy, but like green tea.
Okay.
We do that.
What is that? What does that do?
It's just high caffeine,
Okay.
but it's in a
Concentrated caffeine.
it's just higher, naturally grown. So caffeine, I'm getting really nerdy. Caffeine essentially is the plant's way of stopping bugs from devouring it.
Wow.
So if it's higher altitude coffee, typically it'll have less caffeine because there's less bugs.
Oh.
So that's all it was. That's what scientists say. And same as nicotine, they're all sort of similar, right? It's the plant's, it's a defense mechanism.
You know that I read an article not long ago, and they were saying that plants can feel pain, and apparently
Oh wow.
that they can. There's like I don't know if this is true. Again, I'm an idiot. Okay, I don't know anything, but from what I took from the article, that they scream.
You've just upset a lot of vegans by saying that.
Yeah, but when I heard that, I didn't want to walk on the grass. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm sorry. Apparently they scream, and then it's a defense mechanism. And like, so you got, someone will explain it, I don't know, but you got like, they did an experiment where they got 2 greenhouses, okay? And they put 1 plant in each greenhouse, and all the conditions in terms of heat, temperature, water, everything's the same amount of light. So all the growing conditions are the same. The only added element that was different was one had classical calm music, and one had like rock, kill your mom music. And the one that had the rock music, those plants significantly declined in health and growth. And the ones that had the classical music, they flourished. That's mad, as far as I'm concerned. So like now I'm like, there's to my kids, I'm like, no aggressive music. You need to grow. I don't know if it applies the same as that kind of coffee.
I don't know. I've never heard. Like I know that was, I think it was Brainiac that did that. If anyone remembers Brainiac, you're old, like
old school. Wow.
Yeah, so I remember they had 2 greenhouses, and I remember that experiment. I'm
pretty sure Mythbusters did it as well.
I haven't watched that episode.
What a legendary program Mythbusters was.
The funny thing is, those used to be 30 minutes long. They've condensed them into 30 seconds. And they're busting the myths on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Oh, really?
So you can watch a whole episode in 30 seconds, and they bust the myth, and you're like, I wasted my life watching TV when I was a kid.
There's something like now.